everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Trish and I have a blog called Scent Hive where I focus mostly on all natural perfumes. I'm also on Instagram at Scent Hive, and I obviously have this YouTube channel called Scent Hive. So it's been a while since I've been able to make a video. It's just been a crazy summer. As I've mentioned before, I find it really difficult to make videos when I've got a full house. So now that my kids are back into school, I think it's going to be a little bit easier to film a little bit more regularly, although I am somewhat sporadic. So thank you guys for hanging in there with me. But I am back today to talk about perfume. I'm going to talk about Skylar Perfumes, and I touched on one of their fragrances called Isle, and I spoke about them in my summertime perfume review that I did, I think maybe back in June, but this is going to be a Skylar focused perfume review. So I'm going to talk about all 4 of their fragrances, and I also have an awesome giveaway to talk about as well. But just as far as a little catch up over the summer, because it has been an amazing summer. It's also been obviously a very difficult summer as well. I mean, there was Charlottesville, which was just really horrifying, and then obviously Harvey has been just awful and devastating, and it looks like maybe there's another hurricane brewing on the way, which is just kind of unfathomable. And here in Oregon, we have just crazy fires just all over our whole entire state. So from that aspect, it's been obviously a challenging summer, but on a personal level, it's been actually a great summer. Just to touch on a couple things, for those of you who've been watching me or follow me on Instagram a little bit, I do talk a little bit about my tennis obsession, and I play a ton of tennis, and one of the teams, the USTA team that I play on, we actually made it to nationals. We won our sectionals. We were in Spokane at the beginning of August, and we actually won that, so that's really exciting. We're going to be in Arizona in October for nationals, and then I actually got to see the eclipse in totality, which was just probably one of the top 10 highlights of my life. It was really amazing, just beyond words. I can't even describe how incredible that was. And yeah, we got to go to New York at the beginning of the summer, which was really amazing. Went to Montauk and the city and spent time with family. So overall, the summer has really been incredible, and I feel awful that it's sort of ending on this bad note with these fires here in Oregon. And you know, we really don't like the rainy season to start too soon, but it would really be great to get some rain here. But anyway, enough of the catch up. Let's dive into these perfumes. I showed you guys this, the perfume palette that they have. This is their sampler that they offer. And you know, a lot of perfumes, perfume companies do this. The main reason why they do this is because they are a direct-to-consumer brand. So that means they do not offer their perfumes in any retail shops, and that allows them to keep their prices down. Their bottles are 50 mils, 1.7 fluid ounce for $78, which is actually very, very reasonable for such a nice perfume. So what they do is they offer this sample pack for $20. And then once you purchase that, you get a $20 credit that you can use for a future full-size purchase. So I think that's a great deal. So then you can use $20 towards a full bottle. So obviously you can pick out which one you like the best from the sample pack and use that towards your full-size bottle. So let's go ahead and get into the fragrances. What I spoke about, or I already mentioned this, but I spoke about Isle in my previous one, so I won't go into that too much, but that has the cardamom and the sandalwood. So it kind of has a little bit of that spicy woody fragrance bent, but it does have bergamot in it, and it is very musky. So it's just great for summer because it has that light citrusy scent as well as the spiciness. So it doesn't get too weighed down, but I think that it will also be great for the fall. since it does have that spicy hint to it. So I am really looking forward to seeing how it wears in the fall as it gets a little bit cooler now, and see how that transitions. So I'm intrigued by Isle quite a bit, and I have been really enjoying it for the summer, but I'm really looking forward to wearing it in the fall as well. And then just to show you what their packaging looks like. So the bottles come in these cylinder packages that just slide right out. And then they're watercolor painted. And so the tubes then you can use, you can repurpose, you know, you could put pencils in it, makeup brushes, whatever, use them for storage, but they're just really beautiful, so you can display them. And then the bottles are just very simple and elegant, kind of a minimalist vibe. So that is what Arrow looks like. So Arrow is in that kind of more, you know, Isle is spicy, but it's more in that light kind of, like I was saying, kind of that light-hearted, spicy realm, where Arrow is definitely in more of the, it's not like dark or heavy, but it's definitely more in that kind of cozy, spicy, warm genre of perfumes. It's not quite an amber fragrance, but it does have labdanum, vanilla, and tonka bean in it, so that does kind of lean in the amber zone. It also has patchouli in it and birch tar, which kind of are those more like animalic notes, kind of leathery. And it also has, for florals, it has jasmine, rose, and neroli, I think. Yeah, I got those right. Jasmine, rose, and neroli. So obviously those are very classic florals. And again, it's very, and I didn't say this before, but all of these fragrances have musk running through them. And these fragrances are not 100% natural. So they are definitely natural leaning. Their base is organic sugarcane alcohol, which actually does come from a sustainable distillery here in Oregon. So, and 90% of it is all natural. And their natural essences are from sustainable sources. So sustainable, like for example, sustainable sandalwood. So the other 10% are going to be synthetic aroma chemicals, but they do not use phthalates. And the thinking behind it is there are some essential oils that are potential allergens, like grapefruit and lavender. So, and they're kind of the ethos behind this is to make sure that their fragrances are as hypoallergenic as possible. So when there is an essential oil that could be replaced by a more hypoallergenic synthetic aroma chemical, they do use those. And then I have not had this discussion with the owner, but I'm almost positive that, you know, and since they are vegan, they're not obviously going to be using musks from an animal source. So the musks that they use in here, I'm sure, are aroma chemicals. So, and I do have an accompanying blog post with this video. And so what I say in my blog post is that, you know, this line is great for people who are just getting into natural perfumes, who are transitioning from conventional perfumes, but aren't maybe ready to make the full leap into 100% pure, or for those of you who have been wearing 100% pure perfumes, but you kind of miss that musky scent that you can really only get from synthetics, but you want to make sure that your synthetics are as clean as possible. So this is kind of a good middle ground there for both types of people. So back to Arrow. This is a very musky, warm, spicy fragrance that is great for winter, and it does remind me a lot of the Elizabeth and James Nirvana black perfume. So if you're kind of looking for something that is reminiscent of that, that could replace that for you, that is definitely more natural and is more of a clean formulation, then you would want to give Arrow a try. Moving to Meadow. Meadow is, and this is just, again, I love the color scheme for Meadow, just a really beautiful pink package for this one. Meadow is definitely the floral one of the bunch. It has white, kind of the heady white tropical blossoms of jasmine and tuberose. It also has neroli in it, and this too is also very musky. It kind of almost has that little bit of that clean kind of laundry scent. So if you've been looking for something very floral, but not like hyper floral where it's just this big white floral, you know, bombshell that you can smell a mile away, it's definitely more subtle than that, but it's definitely floral with the musky backdrop. I think there's a little bit of patchouli in here, as well as I think some cistus flower, and which cistus is in the same family as labdanum. Labdanum is the resin, so she's not listing labdanum, she's listing cistus flower, so it must be more of the essential oil instead of the resin. So it doesn't have that kind of deep, kind of ambery quality that Arrow does. This Meadow is definitely more light-hearted. So I would definitely recommend Meadow if you're more of a floral type of perfume lover. And then Coral is definitely more of that fruity floral musky. So they all have musk in them. And that's why I definitely recommend this if you're a musky lover. So Coral reminds me, and I haven't smelled Dolce & Gabbana's light blue for a really long time, but when I smelled Coral, that's the first thing that I thought of. And they both kind of have that like apple blossom musky scent. So I would say if you've been a fan of light blue and you've been missing light blue, then I would give Coral a try. So Coral also has sandalwood and patchouli in it, but again, it's nothing that's super heavy. It's not overwhelming for the scent. It's definitely fruity floral family, and it kind of has that youthful vibe that's really popular kind of in the department stores now, except for it's that, just gives you that offering in the more natural, clean world. So I just think that Skylar is filling a great niche right now for those of us who are open to brands that aren't necessarily 100% natural, but who take great care in their sourcing. And I do want to mention that they also give money to an organization called Step Up, and that is a nonprofit organization that helps underprivileged high school girls get mentorship. So, I just feel like we can get a little bit too crazy with feeling, and I don't want to judge anybody for sure. If you're definitely on that path of being super strict with everything being 100%, green, that's great. For me, I definitely like to dabble a little bit in, keeping my mind open to, some other possibilities and other brands that are out there doing, good things. And I think that Skylar is definitely one of them. So if you are open to, some clean synthetics, I definitely would give this a try, especially if you've been missing some of that, department store kind of vibe, but you don't like that really overwhelming stench that you get. So, which is going to come from phthalates and just overpowering, aldehydes and not so clean chemicals that they use. This is, I've got this on, I've got a couple of them on. I've got, what do I have on here? Oh, so this is Meadow, and I have Isle on over here. And if you're across the room, you're definitely not going to be able to smell my perfume. I think if you were sitting right next to me, you probably would be able to smell it. I think that it's definitely office appropriate. And anyway, I think you guys get the gist of what I'm saying about this line. But if you're uncertain, definitely start with the sample pack, which I think is also another great offering. So to get to the giveaway, what I'm going to do is I am giving away the full bottle of Coral, and I'm giving away the full bottle of Meadow. And so since everybody has a different, idea of what they like and what they want, I want the winner to get the bottle that they want. So in order to be entered in the drawing, you need to subscribe to me here on YouTube, follow me over on Instagram, and then when you're over on Instagram, tag a couple friends, and I'll have all the instructions down here in the description box, and I'll also have all the instructions over on Instagram. But either here or over at Instagram, let me know what you want. Do you want to be entered in the drawing for Coral, or do you want to be entered in the drawing for Meadow? And then that's what you will be entered in the drawing for, so that you will win the bottle that you want to win. And I feel really badly, but this is just going to be open to US residents because, you know, the shipping is quite expensive because I'm going to be shipping these myself, and it's going to be really expensive to ship overseas. And then also there are such heavy restrictions on shipping perfumes overseas that I can't really deal with all that. So this is for US residents only. So that's it for the review for Skylar. If you guys have any questions about any of this, please let me know down below. I do have an accompanying blog post, like I mentioned, if you're interested in just seeing more photographs, or if you want to see all this information just kind of in one spot that you can read. I will link that below as well. And then I think my next video is going to be an empties video because I have so many empties to share with you guys, and most of them are just total loves, things that I have fallen in love with, and I'm really excited to share with you. So thank you guys for watching, and please do enter the giveaway because I think that you guys will really be intrigued by these perfumes. Oh, and I also do have a 10% off code with Skylar, and it's just Scent Hive. So if you want to purchase something from them, use the 10% off code. And that is it. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.